Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Up. Missy Cooper is undoubtedly one of the best characters on young Sheldon, since she is sassy, sardonic, precocious, and bright. Fans frequently laugh out loud at her one-liners, especially when they are aimed at her parents or siblings. However, Missy usually speaks under her breath and to no one in particular. Missy is the ideal counterpoint to her brilliant twin brother Sheldon because she is perceptive and socially aware despite not being as conventionally smart. Many of her best remarks on the popular show serve as proof of this. When Missy was attempting to capitalize on the fact that Sheldon's requirements were costing the family money, she said this to Mary. Now that Sheldon was in the doghouse, she wanted to know who her mother's new favorite kid was. Related, Reddit's list of the funniest young Sheldon episodes. Missy made this remark in response to Mary's initial attempt to claim that she had no favorites before adding that her favorite would be whoever took out the garbage. Although she may not be as smart as Sheldon, she is not a fool and was able to spot that ruse. Missy enjoys pushing limits, much like a lot other kids her age. This includes things like using profanity, which Mary, who is deeply and fervently religious, forbids. But Missy felt it was hilarious when she discovered a loophole by reading the Bible and parts that had the term ass. She was sent to her room after continuing to read the Genesis and Exodus passages she had bookmarked in order to torture her mother. But not before she said these words in a last act of premature disobedience. In an attempt to escape George after a disagreement, Mary is frantically packing the kids to leave and staying across the street with her mother. Sheldon is making things hard. Despite the almanac's prediction of mild temperatures, he is unsure whether or not to take items like earmuffs. Missy takes charge of the conversation and says this as Mary becomes clearly irritated with Sheldon's constant questioning and his internal monologue. She never hesitates to treat her twin brother rudely or with sarcasm. Even still, one of the most significant revelations regarding Sheldon's past on young Sheldon is that he was closer to Missy than he claimed to have been when they were younger. Missy was determined to become independent as she grew older. She wanted to provide babysitting services for Pastor Jeff, his wife, and their newborn as part of that. One day, after Mary had informed him that Missy was unable to watch the kids, she called him to offer her services. Linked, 10 disparities between young Sheldon and the Big Bang Theory. In addition to offering to watch the child, she also gave the couple some ideas for activities, like going to see Beethoven. She stated, "It's about a big dumb dog. I've heard it's funny. When Missy isn't being cunning, she is straightforward and knows how to get what she wants." This statement aptly captures the late 1980s and early 1990s era in which the show is set. Missy assumes Sheldon must be gay the moment he asks for a copy of Sassy magazine. With this line, she adds, "I knew it." Sheldon is clearly perplexed and requests the magazine for a specific purpose, although Missy would have been mistaken to assume that he just wanted to look at the magazine. She is someone Sheldon may think of as a buddy on young Sheldon, but this line reveals her personality and the fact that they don't really understand each other. When Sheldon says he doesn't believe in God, Missy breaks up their conversation and tells him to watch what he says because God can hear them. She goes on to say that God has the power to send you to hell. Although Missy goes to Sunday school every week, her analogy of God to Santa, both of whom are aware of whether children have behaved well or poorly, is exactly the kind of connection Missy would make on her own. It emphasizes that Missy is still a child, even though she frequently behaves and speaks like an adult. Missy enjoys taking advantage of her mother's devout religious convictions to force her into a difficult situation. Sheldon's discussion of his choice to run for class president is one instance of this. Before her mother can tell a fib, Missy interrupts the good-hearted Mary to say that she believes he will win when he asks her. Related, MTV's ranking of the best young Sheldon season finals. Naturally, this leaves Mary in a vulnerable situation. Missy, however, thrives on situations like this, making others uncomfortable.
Sheldon
Before
and
grinning,
Missy
have one of the greatest friendships on young Sheldon, and their interaction is funny. It's endearing how they taunt one another while yet supporting one another no matter what. Sheldon keeps waking Missy up in this episode, and she is clearly growing irritated. As fans are aware, Sheldon is a germaphobe who wears mittens to prevent touching people's hands during dinner and other occasions. Therefore, it is a terrible prospect for Sheldon to hear Missy threaten to sneeze a big wet snotty one in his mittens if he wakes her up again. Missy is all too familiar with this. Missy frequently found herself in trouble because she was quite good at producing sarcastic comments and retorts. However, typically, she got away with a lot of things by whispering them. In one case, despite being instructed not to, her mother discovered her applying makeup at school. Mary responded with this extremely matter-of-fact line when she reminded Missy that she was not permitted to wear makeup. Naturally, it makes a lot of sense, but it also caused her further problems. As Missy grew older, she frequently rebelled, in part because of her self-assurance and her ability to talk her way out of problems. It's easy to overlook that Sheldon is the center of attention and that the other two brothers may feel inferior to him. They are frequently made to feel intellectually inferior since they don't grasp the majority of what Sheldon does. It is therefore both humorous and depressing when Missy says this to Georgie, who reminds her that Sheldon is in college, but the two of them are unable to solve her elementary school assignment. It's likely that Missy had genuine self-consciousness about her intelligence and the fact that her brother would always achieve greater success than she did. This statement may have been said in jest, but it probably contained a lot of truth as well. Young Sheldon, Missy's 10 best quotes that will make you laugh, cry, and think. In the quirky world of young Sheldon, where the focus is largely on the genius that is Sheldon Cooper, it's easy to forget the importance of his family, especially his twin sister, Missy. While Sheldon may be the intellectual powerhouse of the Cooper family, Missy provides much-needed comic relief, wisdom, and a touch of heart to the show. With her wit, sass, and no-nonsense attitude, Missy's lines often steal the spotlight. Below are 10 of the best quotes from Missy Cooper that prove she's not just Sheldon's sister, but a fan favorite in her own right. Get ready for some humor, heart, and plenty of iconic one-liners that make Missy the character we didn't know we needed. In the Season 1 episode, pilot, Missy, the younger of the Cooper twins, doesn't hold back when it comes to setting boundaries, even with Sheldon. In this moment, she's frustrated because Sheldon, in his usual fashion, is doing his best to derail her birthday plans with his obsessive need for structure and order. While Sheldon may be upset about the absence of scientific novelty on the big day, Missy is all about enjoying herself. This line is a perfect example of Missy's ability to stay grounded and maintain her cool, even when her brother's actions threaten to ruin the moment. Ah, sibling rivalry at its finest. Missy is never shy about reminding Sheldon where he stands in their family hierarchy. This line speaks to her natural confidence and clever wit. While Sheldon may have inherited the brains, Missy's got the sharp tongue, and she's not afraid to use it. She cleverly calls out Sheldon's superiority complex with a simple yet biting remark. Missy isn't one to shy away from a little self-praise, and we love her for it. This line is from a moment when Missy is reflecting on how her charm and humor might be more appreciated than she initially thought. She's definitely not lacking in self-confidence, and this quote captures her lighthearted, self-assured personality perfectly. Missy's sarcasm knows no bounds. When Sheldon is about to make one of his infamous social faux pas, Missy leans into her role as the audience for his awkwardness, ready to watch the chaos unfold. There's a certain joy she takes in watching Sheldon's meticulous plans go awry, and this line is a playful jab at her brother's lack of social grace. It's clear Missy loves to poke fun at Sheldon, but deep down, she's fiercely protective of him, even when he's being a perfect example of Missy's relatable perspective on the world. While Sheldon is off deep in his thoughts, working through his scientific theories, or obsessing over his hyper-specific interests, Missy is all about living. She's not interested in the academic stuff that Sheldon obsesses over. She's here for the real world. In a family that revolves around Sheldon's intellect, Missy's quote serves as a refreshing reminder that brains aren't the only thing that matters in life. There's fun to be had and a world to experience beyond theoretical physics. Missy's subtle blend of humor and self-awareness shines through again in this quote. While Sheldon may be the family's certified genius, Missy isn't one to downplay her own smarts. She knows that she's sharp in her own way, and she doesn't mind taking a little pride in it. This line embodies Missy's ability to hold her own next to Sheldon, asserting that intelligence isn't limited to IQ scores. It's also about how you see the world and navigate your own path. Missy has an endless supply of sass, and this is one of her best examples. She's calling out a boy who's trying to impress her, but Missy is never one to be easily wooed. Her response here shows just how high her standards are and how little patience she has for people trying too hard. What's particularly funny about this quote is that, while Missy has no time for pretension, she's still a teenager, and this line shows that she's very much navigating the complexities of growing up, including figuring out what she wants and doesn't want in a potential romantic partner. In moments when Sheldon or the rest of her family get themselves into a predicament, Missy has no choice but to step up and act like the voice of reason. This line is a reflection of how she's often the one holding things together in her household, especially when Sheldon's intellectual pursuits lead to social or practical problems. Though she may not be the responsible type by nature, Missy rises to the occasion when necessary, often with a mix of reluctance and dry humor. Missy is the queen of sarcasm, but there's always an underlying warmth to her personality, even when she's being cheeky. In this moment, she plays on the classic notion of proud tears, but does so in a way that's both funny and endearing. This quote shows that Missy isn't just about making jokes or cracking wise. She has moments of vulnerability too, though she's clever enough to mask them behind her humor. Missy may not be into the scientific concepts that fascinate Sheldon, but she's got her own way of seeing the world. This line sums up Missy's independent spirit. While Sheldon dreams of outer space and theoretical discoveries, Missy is perfectly content with her own self-created reality. Her quick wit, confidence, and sense of humor make it clear that she's got her own unique universe to inhabit, one where she calls the shots and isn't afraid to make her own rules. From her sassy comebacks to her heartfelt moments, Missy Cooper is a character who adds depth and humor to the young Sheldon series. While she might not always get the attention her genius brother Sheldon does, her lines are some of the most memorable in the show. Missy's unique personality shines through every time she opens her mouth, whether she's making us laugh, cringe, or reflect on the deeper meanings behind her words. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.